Okay, we're given a polynomial f has the zeros 1/3, positive square root of 3, negative square root of 3. We're asked to find a degree 3 polynomial that contains these three roots. And another thing I want to say up here is I want you to answer in unfactored form. I don't want the answer to be factored, okay? I want you to get rid of the parentheses. Okay, so solution. We start by recognizing that the factor theorem says that if you have these roots that they gave us, 1/3 plus or minus the square root of 3, factor theorem says that implies that you have the following factors for the polynomial f. They are x minus the first root, x minus 1/3, comma, x minus the second root, x minus the positive square root of 3, comma, and x minus the last root, that's x minus a minus, which means x plus the square root of 3. Okay, so knowing that from the factor theorem, we know that our polynomial f of x is equal to some number a, lead coefficient, times x minus 1/3 times x minus the square root of 3 times x plus the square root of 3. With a equals what we call the lead coefficient. Now that could be any number. Let's all agree to make it simple and call the lead coefficient a equal to 1. Okay, and doing that means we have our f of x equals simply x minus 1/3 times x minus the square root of 3 times x minus plus the square root of 3. Okay, now we need the unfactored form. Let's start here. Let's get rid of these parentheses by using the formula. You see, that's a minus b times a plus b. So that means we can replace it with a squared minus b squared. f of x equals parenthesis x minus 1/3 times parenthesis x squared minus the square root of 3 squared. Of course, the square root and square, they cancel each other. So we have f of x equals to the x minus 1/3 factor times x squared minus 3. So we have two terms times two terms. Now we're going to FOIL, going to FOIL to get rid of the parentheses. f of x equals first times first is x to the third power. Outer times outer, positive x times a negative 3 is negative 3x. Inner times inner is a negative 1/3 times x squared. Last times last, negative times a negative is a positive. 1/3 times 3 is 1. Let's get it in descending order of the powers. And we have the x cubed guy first, and then minus the 1/3 times x to the second, and then minus the 3x, and then the constant plus 1 at the end. And we are finished. Woo!